Welcome to the fifth and last episode of this video series. In previous parts I showed you how to set up OpenClaw on a Windows subsystem for Linux. Then we added the Paprika skill that already existed and developed the Google Keep skill by ourselves and also added it then via GitHub clone command. And this time I will now show you how to bring it all together. So the complete process for meal planning, starting with us giving the instructions via WhatsApp, or in our demo, I will just use the internal chat from OpenClaw, which will work the same way. Then OpenClaw obtains the recipes from Paprika. It will then do an interactive meal planning and consider our user-based criteria. We have the chance to adjust this meal planning, and when we are done and have confirmed it, then OpenClaw will generate a grocery list from that with cumulated quantities and write it item by item to our Google Keep shopping list. So that is basically the blue arrows in this graphic here. And some things have already changed meanwhile. Like I have already mentioned, we installed the Google Keep skill, the new one, via GitHub clone command, like that in our last episode. And meanwhile, the skill was published on ClawHub, so that means we don't need the clone anymore. We don't need to do all the post-installation procedures. We can now do that all via the ClawHub install gkeep-notes. That's the slug, the name of the skill. And all we need to do then after the installation is generating our token. Okay, then let's start setting up the meal planning process. And as always, when we want to add something new, some new functionality, we start with ClawHub and look into the skills if there's already something we can use. And when you search for meal planning, you will see that there are plenty of skills which can do the basic functionality, the meal planning itself. But the thing is that natively none of those works really together with the Paprika app or Google Keep. So what we could do, we can take one like this here. I like that one very much. And we could just extend the logic here in the skill.md file and say, okay, let's not just store your recipes locally. Let's read it from Paprika. Yeah, and then maybe store it temporarily so you can access the data without having to call the Paprika API all the time. And then when you are done with the grocery list, you could then write this shopping list to Google Keep. Yeah. And I think that's the cleanest way of implementing the meal planning, but at the same time, it's also the way with the highest effort. So for this tutorial, I preferred writing this information to the memory.md file. If you did not watch the other episodes, that's really our central long-term memory of OpenClaw. And this is what our current memory.md file looks like. We already have some information in here, if you remember from part 3, where we got the Paprika skill working, and we had problems because OpenClaw claimed there are authorization issues, and we made it clear, okay, the information is in your skill.md file, look into that, and please remember next time and store it into your memory.md. So what we can do now is, and I will also put a link here in the description, we can just append at the end here a memory.md file I have pre-created on my own OpenClaw instance. So I already took the chat and I gave all the instructions to read data from Paprika and then to create the meal plan and then derive the shopping list from it. So all the information is already in there. And if you just want a quick solution, then you can take it from my GitHub. This one here. You just copy the raw data and then right click to paste it into your memory.md. And you can see that now the information is already there, also with regards to how to structure files and so on. Control O, enter, Control X. Let's double check. And there it is. Control X again. Now, in case you do not want to copy and paste the memory MD, or maybe you have a different use case and then there is no existing template, you can also go to the chat and do the training yourself. And you can just state, please remember the following recurring process to create a meal plan and so on. Do not overwrite memory MD, but store it into your memory MD file. This is the process, and then step by step. Yeah. And be prepared for OpenClaw to not understand it right away. So you need to guide it once through the whole process. Even if it says, okay, I will add it now, doesn't mean it will function right away. Go through the process and see if it's really working. Just say, please start a meal planning process for the first week of August. And you can see that it asks me to tailor the meal plan, how many visitors, dietary preferences, and so on. So I can say 2 grown-ups, 1 kid, 40% vegetarian, visitors Saturday, 3 grown-ups, plan pizza for Saturday. And the generated list looks good. And of course, I can now do interactive adjustments. But if I'm happy with it, I can just say, okay, that worked. Write the files. And when we look into the memory directory, we can then see that we have 2 new files with a meal plan and the derived shopping list, meal plan. Okay, now store all in my Google Keep shopping list. And that should export from the file to your Google Keep node. And besides this option of creating a new skill by injecting it into memory MD or creating skills the classic way via GitHub and then publish it on ClawHub, there is a third way, which is a skill that can be used to create other skills. So I could also say skill creator, and then create me a meal planning skill. And from here, the skill will then coach you through the process. I hope you enjoyed building your own AI food assistant, and if you did, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel.